Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. A lot of us, we sit around thinking we need God to step in immediately. Like, God, why hasn't he been dealt with yet? Why hasn't she faced the consequences yet? I'm telling you, that's just us not understanding how God's timing works. I remember this one time. Man, I was young, just starting out, and I had a friend, or I thought he was my friend, try to stab me in the back. And I mean literally, figuratively, the whole 9 yards. I was mad. I wanted him to get hit right then and there. I wanted karma to slap him so hard that he'd think twice before messing with anybody ever again. But you know what happened? Nothing. At first. And I was frustrated, not because I went out there and tried to orchestrate it, not because I got revenge, not because I plotted or schemed. No, God moved in a way that only he could. That friend, he started losing his grip, losing influence, doors closing around him. Meanwhile, my life, man, it was like doors started opening. Opportunities I hadn't even dreamed about. Connections I didn't even know existed. Blessings just lining up like traffic in my favor. And I sat back, sipping my coffee, smiling, saying, "Oh, I see what you did there, Lord." That's what I'm talking about when I say divine timing is perfect. You see, we live in a world of instant gratification. We want everything now. Emails, likes, texts, money, success. But God doesn't work that way. He's not worried about the clock on your wall. He's concerned about the bigger picture, the full story, the perfect ending. Sometimes when people hurt us, we are desperate for justice. We want to see the scales balance right away. But here's the thing. When God deals with someone, he does it in a way that protects you, teaches them a lesson, and makes the victory unmistakably his. And when it happens, it hits so hard, everyone sees it, and deep down, it's not even your doing. That's divine timing. Let me break it down in a way you'll get. Picture this. Someone has been talking about you, trying to ruin your reputation, trying to mess with your family, or maybe trying to steal your joy. You're watching, feeling helpless, thinking, God, why are you letting them get away with this? But what happens is, God starts lining things up in the background. He closes the right doors for them. He opens the right doors for you. And he times it so perfectly that the world watches and goes, "Oh, did you see that? The ones who hurt you don't even know it's happening until it's too late." And you're just enjoying your life, your blessings, your peace, while God quietly, masterfully does his work. And here's another thing. Divine timing also protects your heart. You see, if God had dealt with people immediately when they hurt you, maybe you wouldn't have been ready to handle the situation. Maybe your heart would still have been bitter. But he waits until you grow, until you're stronger, until you're at a place where you can truly appreciate the victory. That's why sometimes you look back and say, "Oh man, I'm so glad that didn't happen back then. I wasn't ready for that blessing yet." God's timing is never late. It's always perfect. I want you to understand this. When you feel like nothing is happening, when you're looking at the people who hurt you and wondering if justice will ever come, relax, take a breath, keep doing right, keep praying, keep walking in integrity. God's got this. And when he moves, it won't be subtle. It won't be a little nudge. It will be so clear, so undeniable, that even those who doubted you will have to see that it's God. That's divine timing. That's the kind of timing that makes you smile in the face of betrayal, because with absolute certainty that he's got it covered. I learned that the hard way. I used to be impatient. I used to want to pull the trigger, get even, make them pay. But every time I let God handle it, it was bigger, better, and sweeter than anything I could have imagined. And I promise you, that's how it is for everybody. When God deals with those who hurt you, he doesn't do it your way. He does it his way. And trust me, his way is perfect, every single time. So, remember this. Stop stressing about when God is going to handle the people who hurt you. Stop trying to take matters into your own hands. Keep your head up. Keep your heart clean and watch the masterpiece unfold. Because divine timing, it's perfect, it's precise, and it's way better than anything you could cook up yourself. Now, let's talk about something that happens when God starts dealing with the people who hurt you. And I want you to pay close attention because this one is juicy. It's called they start losing influence. Man, you ever notice how some people just think they've got control over your life? They walk around like they're the CEO of your destiny. Like they can determine whether you eat, sleep, work, or breathe. And when they hurt you, you feel it. You feel that power they think they have. But here's the thing. God has a way of cutting that influence clean off. And he does it so quietly that sometimes the person doesn't even know what hit them. I remember back in the day, there was this guy I worked with. I won't name names, but let's just say he was a real piece of work. Always trying to undermine me, spread rumors, and make me look bad in front of people. At the time, I felt trapped. I thought, oh man, this dude's got all the power. I can't get ahead because of him. I'll be honest, I prayed. I asked God, Lord, why is this guy allowed to walk around acting like he owns me? And I tell you what happened. It was subtle at first. He started missing deadlines. Opportunities that used to come easy to him started slipping away. People stopped listening to him like they used to. And me? I just kept doing my thing, showing up, staying consistent, praying, and letting God handle it. Slowly but surely, he began losing influence. The meetings where he once dominated, he wasn't invited anymore. The people who used to hang on his every word, they stopped listening. Oh, doors that once opened for him were now closing. And you know what I did? I laughed. Not in a mean way, but in that a God's got me kind of way. Because I realize when God deals with people, he doesn't just fix your life. He fixes the balance of power too. And here's why this is important. People who hurt you often thrive on your reaction. They want you frustrated, stressed, angry, so that they feel powerful. But when God steps in and removes their influence, they can't manipulate you anymore. They can't control your life. They can't steal your joy. I'm a kafir. And that's when you start to see something incredible. You start moving forward without even having to fight them. Their power fades and yours grows. That's God's justice. That's divine intervention. I remember another story from my life. There was this situation with a family member, someone who tried to tear me down in front of the family. It hurt, man, it hurt bad. But I decided instead of reacting, I'd let God handle it. And he did. Slowly but surely, their influence over our family decisions, over family gatherings, over how people listen to them, it started disappearing. People began seeing the truth for themselves. And me. I started shining brighter, becoming the person I was meant to be, while they fade into irrelevance. God's way is so smart. Here's the lesson for you. When God deals with people who hurt you, their influence doesn't just vanish overnight. Sometimes it's a slow process, but it's precise. He pulls the strings behind the scenes. Sins. Doors close for them. Opportunities slip through their fingers. Respect diminishes, and all the power they thought they had, gone. And the best part, you didn't have to do a thing. That's the beauty of it. You keep living right, keep working hard, keep loving God, and he takes care of the rest. And listen, it's not just about revenge. It's not about making them suffer for the sake of your ego. No, it's about God reclaiming the space in your life that was meant for peace, growth, and success. When their influence fades, your influence rises, and people notice. Doors open for you, people start respecting you, opportunities line up, and life gets smoother. And that's when you know God is dealing with those who hurt you. So, if you're sitting there worried about the people who have hurt you, pay attention to this. Watch how their influence starts slipping away. Watch how they lose control over your life, how doors close for them, and how people begin to see the truth. And don't get impatient. Let God handle it. Well, you keep shining, keep grinding, keep praying, and watch as God dismantles their influence piece by piece. And when it's all said and done, you'll be standing there stronger, freer, and happier than you ever imagined. Remember this. People can only hurt you as long as they have influence. Once God steps in, that power vanishes, and you walk in freedom. And that, my friend, is when you start to see the beauty of divine justice. That's how God works. That's how he deals with those who hurt you. He takes their power, lifts yours, and gives you the peace that comes from knowing he's got it all under control. Now, let's talk about what I like to call a life lessons hit hard. And oh, they do hit hard, don't they? I mean, when people hurt you, sometimes you sit there thinking, oh man, they're getting away with this. But let me tell you something. God has a way of using life itself as a teacher. And when he teaches someone a lesson, trust me, it's going to be unforgettable. I remember one time, I won't lie, someone I trusted betrayed me big time, and I was hurt. I was mad and wanted them to feel the consequences immediately. But you know what? That's not how God works. Instead of striking them down in some flashy way, God used life itself to teach them the lesson. Slowly, subtly, but oh, so clearly, their mistakes started coming back to them. It wasn't me doing it. It wasn't gossip. It wasn't drama. It was life itself. And the funny thing, every little thing that happened, I sat back and said, Lord, that's you. Here's the thing about life lessons. They don't ask permission. They don't care if someone's rich, powerful, or smart. They hit everybody equally when they need to. If someone's been hurting you, messing with your peace, stepping on your dreams, God has a way of letting life teach them a lesson that sticks. And sometimes it hits so hard, it makes them rethink everything. And you're watching it unfold, learning your own lessons, growing, and moving forward while they're learning the hard way. I've seen it happen time and time again. People who were mean, manipulative, and deceitful, they start running into walls. Things stop working for them. Projects fail. Relationships crumble, opportunities vanish, and they look around wondering, why me? What happened? And all the while, God's teaching them. He's showing them the consequences of their actions, and it's a lesson they can't ignore. Life itself becomes their teacher. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't about being happy that someone suffers. No. That's not the point. The point is that God has a way of correcting the wrong without you having to lift a finger. He lets life do the teaching. And when it happens, it's so effective, it's undeniable. And that's the beauty of it. You don't have to stoop to their level. You don't have to plot or scheme. You just keep living right. Keep being honest. Keep being kind. And God makes sure they learn the lesson they need to learn. Let me tell you a story from my own life. I once had a so-called friend who tried to sabotage me in a business venture. I was furious, but instead of retaliating, I prayed and kept pushing forward. You know what happened? Friend, life started teaching them the lesson. They made one bad decision after another. Doors that were wide open for them, slamming shut. Opportunities they once had, vanishing. And me, my venture thrived, my relationships grew stronger, and my peace, unshakable. That's God teaching them through life, not through me, not through drama, but through real consequences. And here's the kicker. Sometimes these life lessons are so public, so obvious, that everyone around can see them. That's how God makes sure the truth comes out. People notice. They start saying, oh, wait a minute, look what's happening. And that's not just justice, it's a testimony. That's how people see God at work in your life. He's dealing with those who hurt you, teaching them, correcting them, while you keep walking in your purpose. Life lessons hit hard because they're meant to stick. God doesn't just want them to feel a tiny sting. He wants them to understand, to reflect, to change if possible. And the amazing part, you get to watch it unfold without getting caught up in bitterness or revenge. You get to stay focused on your own growth, your own blessings, your own joy. That's the ultimate victory. So the next time someone hurts you, instead of stewing, instead of plotting, instead of cursing them out in your mind, remember, God's got a way of letting life teach them a lesson. And trust me, it's going to hit harder than anything you could ever imagine. And the best part, you're not the one dishing it out. God is. That's what makes it perfect. That's what makes it just. And that's why you can sit back, smile, and keep living your life knowing the lessons are coming, and the ones who hurt you will pay attention, whether they like it or not. Remember this. When life starts teaching them the hard way, you'll see their arrogance fall, their plans crumble, and their control vanish. And you'll be standing taller, stronger, and wiser because God's been handling the situation all along. Life lessons hit hard, yes, but only in God's perfect timing and for His perfect reason. And that's when you know He's dealing with those who hurt you. Now let's get into something really beautiful. A peace replaces your pain. And oh, this one hits different because when God starts dealing with the people who hurt you, the first thing you notice isn't always their struggle. It's your peace. You see, for a long time, when someone wrongs us, we carry that pain around like a heavy backpack. We replay the hurt, the betrayal, the lies over and over, and it weighs us down. We can't sleep, we can't focus, we can't enjoy life. But God, He has a way of taking that burden off your shoulders. I remember a time, I won't lie, I was angry for months at someone who tried to sabotage me. Every time I thought about them, my blood pressure went up. I was literally carrying their mess around in my heart, like it was my job. And then slowly, God started working. He started replacing that anger with something else, peace. Not some fake, oh, I'm fine peace. I'm talking about the deep, soul-soothing kind of peace that hits you like, oh, I see now. And that's when you know God is dealing with the people who hurt you. Here's the thing, peace doesn't always come immediately. Sometimes it's gradual, like little drops of water filling a cup. First, you feel lighter in your thoughts. Then you start sleeping better. Then you notice you're not reacting to every little thing they do. And eventually, one day, you realize you don't even think about them the way you used to. That pain, that anger, that frustration, gone, replaced with calm, replaced with joy, replaced with joy, replaced with focus on your blessings, not their mistakes. And let me tell you, God does this so clever. Sometimes he lets life show them the consequences while he's quietly healing your heart. You see, when someone hurts you, the natural reaction is to obsess about it, to want revenge, to keep score. But God doesn't want you stuck in that. He wants you free. He wants you walking in your purpose, unbothered, untouchable, untangled from their drama. That's why peace replaces your pain. It's God's way of showing you, I got you. I'm handling it. I want to tell you a story from my life. I once had a business associate who completely betrayed my trust. I felt like I'd been hit in the stomach. For weeks, I carried that hurt, replaying the whole thing in my mind. But instead of reacting, I started praying. I started focusing on my own growth. And slowly, oh man, peace began creeping in. Doors opened for me. Blessings came my way. And suddenly, I wasn't thinking about them anymore. I wasn't stressing. I was living. And meanwhile, that person who tried to hurt me, they were stuck in a mess of their own making, while I was calm, smiling, thriving. That, my friend, is God's peace replacing your pain. And here's the kicker. Peace is powerful. It's not just about feeling better. It's about seeing life clearly. When you're carrying pain, your vision is blurry. You can't see opportunities. You can't see solutions. You can't see the blessings that are right in front of you. But when God replaces that pain with peace, everything becomes clearer. You start making better decisions, attracting better people, and moving in alignment with your purpose. That's not a coincidence. That's divine intervention. Now, some of you might be thinking, Steve, it's hard to feel peace when they're still hurting me. I get it. I really do. But peace doesn't depend on their situation. Peace depends on God. It's about letting him carry the weight so you don't have to. It's about trusting that he is working behind the scenes. It's about knowing that while you sleep, while you work, while you love, God is orchestrating everything in a way that will bless you and correct them without you lifting a finger. That's the beauty of peace. And let me tell you, when peace replaces your pain, it changes everything. Your relationships get better. Your work gets better. Your sleep gets better. Your joy gets better. You start living in freedom and people notice it. They can't explain why you're so confident, why you're so unbothered, but it's God. That's him showing you, and everyone else, that he's dealing with those who hurt you. So here's the lesson. Don't hold on to the pain. Don't try to carry the anger. Don't obsess over what they did. Let God replace it with peace. It's not just a feeling. It's a sign that he's working on your behalf. That peace, that calm, that joy, it's proof that God is dealing with those who hurt you. And while they are busy facing the consequences of their actions, you are free, happy, and thriving. Remember this. Peace is powerful. Peace is protective, and peace is proof. Proof that God sees everything. Proof that he is faithful, and proof that he's handling your situation perfectly. And when you walk in that peace, you become untouchable, unstoppable, and unshakable. That's how God replaces your pain with power. And that's how you know he's dealing with those who hurt you. Now, let's talk about something that is so real, so life-changing. Your path opens up. And I promise you, this is where things start to get exciting. You see, when God starts dealing with the people who hurt you, it's not just about them losing influence or facing life lessons. It's also about you. Your opportunities, your blessings, your dreams, they start lining up in ways you never imagined. Doors start opening that were once closed, and you begin to see the path you were meant to walk all along. I remember one time, I was dealing with someone who had tried to mess up my life. I was frustrated, I was angry, and I was tired of waiting. But I stayed faithful. I prayed, I worked, I stayed focused, and I trusted God. And then something amazing happened. Doors that had been closed for years, wide open. Opportunities that I thought were lost forever, coming back with a vengeance. Connections I didn't even know existed, suddenly showing up in my life. That's God opening your path while the people who hurt you are stuck in their own mess. Here's what's so interesting. The more you focus on your purpose, the more God makes the path visible. You see, when someone hurts you, it's easy to get stuck looking at them, wondering why they did it, or obsessing over how to get even. But that's a dead-end street. God's way is different. He says, keep your eyes on me. Keep walking. Your path is ready. And then, like magic, or maybe like perfect divine strategy, he starts moving things out of your way. People start noticing your potential. Opportunities start lining up. Your journey begins to flow smoothly. And you realize you're exactly where you were meant to be all along. Let me give you a personal story. I had a mentor once, someone I really looked up to, who completely betrayed me. And for a moment, I thought my career, my dreams, everything was over. But I didn't give up. I kept doing the work. I kept believing. I kept trusting God. And wouldn't you know it, life started giving me signs. Doors that had been slammed shut for years suddenly opened. People who once ignored me were now seeking me out. Opportunities that I didn't even know existed, coming right to my doorstep. And all the while, the person who hurt me, still stuck, still struggling, still trying to figure out why things weren't working. That's God opening your path while making sure the people who hurt you don't block your blessings. And here's the beauty of it. When God opens your path, He does it in a way that's unmistakable. You can't say it's luck or coincidence or timing. No. You know it's Him. Opportunities line up perfectly. People show up at exactly the right time. Doors open without you even asking. In your journey, it begins to unfold in a way that's bigger, better, and more aligned with your purpose than you ever dreamed. But here's the thing, folks. You've got to walk the path. God can open doors. He can remove obstacles. He can line up your blessings. But you've got to move. You've got to step into the opportunity, say yes to the right things, and trust Him every step of the way. You can't sit there waiting for life to happen while He does all the work. He opens the path, but you've got to walk it. And when you do, it's glorious, it's powerful, it's life-changing. Let me break it down for you even more. Sometimes the people who hurt you were standing in the way of your path all along. They were like a roadblock, trying to keep you from stepping into your blessings. And when God deals with them, those roadblocks get removed. Suddenly, you're moving forward faster than ever. The opportunities start piling up. The right people come into your life. The wrong people fade away. And that's when you start realizing you weren't losing. You were being prepared. You weren't stopped. You were being redirected. Your path was being opened, and you didn't even know it until the doors started swinging wide. So, if you're sitting there thinking about the people who hurt you, thinking about the drama, the betrayal, the lies, they're not your problem anymore. Your job is to focus on your path, walk it faithfully, and trust God to open doors and remove obstacles. And when you do, you'll notice something incredible. The same people who tried to stop you, they're stuck where they are while your journey begins to flow smoothly. That's God's justice. That's God's blessing. That's God opening your path. Remember this, your path is bigger than the pain you've endured. Your journey is greater than the betrayal you faced. And when God opens your path, He does it perfectly, beautifully, and unmistakably. So step forward with confidence, walk boldly, and embrace the opportunities He's lining up for you. Your path is open, and it's time for you to shine. Now, let's get into something I call their True Colors show, and oh, this one is priceless. You see, when people hurt you, sometimes you think you know who they really are. You think you understand their heart, their motives, their character. But let me tell you something. God has a way of revealing the truth in ways you never imagined. He exposes the real nature of people. Wang Tun. And when that happens, it's like a light turns on, and suddenly everyone can see exactly who they are. I remember one time, man, I was dealing with someone who had pretended to be my friend for years. They smiled in my face, laughed with me, shared secrets, acted like they had my back. And then one day, out of nowhere, they stabbed me in the back. I was shocked. I was hurt. I was angry. I didn't understand how someone I trusted could betray me so easily. But here's the thing. God had a plan. He had a way of showing me, and everyone else, the truth about this person. And the revelation was crystal clear. Their true colors came out, and suddenly everyone saw the mask fall off. And isn't that something? Sometimes we get so caught up in the hurt, the betrayal, the pain, that we don't see the bigger picture. But God sees, and He has a way of letting the world see too. The lies, the deception, the manipulation, it all comes out in the light. And here's the beauty. When their true colors show, it protects you. It saves you from trusting them again. It saves you from putting your energy into someone who isn't worth it. And it's also a lesson for them, because now they can't hide behind a mask anymore. I want you to understand this. When God deals with people who hurt you, He does in a way that's undeniable. That's undeniable. Their deceit becomes obvious. Their manipulation becomes visible. Their lies unravel. And the best part, you don't have to do a thing. You don't have to expose them, call them out, or get revenge. God takes care of it. And when the truth comes out, it's so clear that even those who didn't believe you at first will finally see what's been going on all along. Let me give you an example from my life. There was a business partner, pretended to be loyal, pretended to care about our venture, but in reality, they were undermining everything. I was frustrated, wondering why they were acting this way, why nobody seemed to notice. And then slowly but surely, their true nature came out. Mistakes piled up. People started noticing inconsistencies. Their greed, their dishonesty, their selfishness. It all became visible. And the best part, by the time it happened, I was in a place where it no longer hurt me. I'd already moved on. I'd already grown. And everyone else, they saw exactly who this person really was. That's God revealing the truth. And here's the thing, it's not always immediate. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes people think they're getting away with their actions, but God's timing is perfect. Eventually, their true colors show. Their hypocrisy becomes obvious. Their bad intentions are exposed. And by that time, you've been strengthened, your heart has been healed, and you're no longer in a position to be hurt by them. That's the divine way of doing justice. Now, some of you might be thinking, Steve, I just want them to pay for what they did. And I get it. But listen, God's way is smarter. He shows the truth, and when their true colors show, the world sees it. And in that moment, the tables turn. People stop taking them seriously. Doors close to them. Respect disappears. Influence fades. And you're standing there, peaceful, strong, and free, while the people who hurt you are exposed for who they really are. That's justice without you lifting a finger. So here's the lesson. Pay attention when God is dealing with those who hurt you. Watch close. Their actions, their words, their behavior, they're going to start revealing the truth. And when it does, don't gloat. Don't react. Just watch. Because their exposure protects you, strengthens you, and gives you clarity. You finally see who's real and who isn't. And sometimes that clarity is more valuable than anything else. Remember this. People can hide their intentions for a long time, but they can't hide forever. God has a way of exposing the truth in ways that are undeniable. And when their true colors show, you can finally move on without fear, without bitterness, and with complete confidence that God has your back. That's how He deals with those who hurt you. That's how He sets the record straight. And that, my friend, is a beautiful thing to witness. Now let's get into something that's fun, exciting, and makes you want to shout, "Oh, thank you, Lord." I'm talking about unexpected wins for you. And oh, these wins are sweeter than anything you could plan yourself because they come right when you least expect it. You see, when God is dealing with the people who hurt you, He doesn't just focus on them. He blesses you in ways that are obvious, undeniable, and sometimes downright shocking. I remember one time, man, I was going through a rough patch. Somebody I trusted completely betrayed me. I felt like my whole world had been turned upside down. I was hurt, frustrated, mad at the situation, and honestly, a little mad at God too. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I say things like, God, I don't understand why you're letting this happen. But here's the thing. While I was focused on Him, God was setting up my wins. And when those wins started coming, man, they were so sweet. It made me laugh out loud. I'm talking about opportunities I never expected, blessings I didn't even ask for, doors opening that I didn't even know existed. That's God's way of showing you, I got you. Here's what's so crazy about unexpected wins. They come in ways that are so clear, everyone notices. You might have people in your life who doubted you, who betrayed you, who laughed at you. And suddenly they watch as doors open, opportunities show up, and blessings pile up. And the best part, you didn't have to lift a finger to make it happen. That's God. He's not just dealing with them, He's rewarding you. And trust me, it's so obvious that even people who didn't believe in you can't help but see it. Let me tell you a personal story. I was working on a project, and someone I trusted completely tried to sabotage me. At first, I felt defeated. I thought, oh man, it's over. But I didn't give up. I prayed, stayed focused, kept grinding, and just trusted God. And when you know it, suddenly opportunities started showing up out of nowhere. People who could help me, who I never even knew existed, came into my life. Doors that had been slammed shut for years, wide open. And the people who tried to hurt me, watching from the sidelines completely powerless. That, my friends, is an unexpected win. That's God's justice with a cherry on top. And here's the thing. You can't plan these wins. You can't force them. You can't make them happen by yourself. That's the beauty of it. They're gifts from God, showing up at the perfect moment in the perfect way. And often they come when you're so busy living your life, focusing on your purpose, and staying faithful that you almost forget about the pain they cause. That's when you realize you've been walking in victory all along. You just didn't notice it until God revealed it. Now, some of you might be thinking, Steve, I don't even know if I can trust that God's got my back. I hear you. I really do. But here's the truth. When God starts blessing you unexpectedly, that's His proof. That's His signature. That's Him saying, I see what happened. I see what they did. But I'm blessing you in ways they can't touch. And those unexpected wins, they change everything. They restore your confidence. They heal your heart. They remind you that God is bigger than the people who hurt you, bigger than the betrayal, bigger than the frustration. I want you to imagine this. You're sitting there, praying, trusting, living right, and suddenly life throws something at you that you never expected. A promotion, a connection, a breakthrough, a blessing, and everyone around sees it. They see God working on your behalf. They see the tables turning. And that, my friend, is not luck. That's divine timing. That's God taking care of those who hurt you while rewarding you in ways that are unmistakably His. So here's the lesson. Keep doing right, keep living with integrity, keep trusting God. The people who hurt you, He's dealing with them. And while He's doing that, He's setting you up for wins you didn't even ask for. Wins that are so clear, so sweet, so undeniable that you can't help but smile. That's how God works. That's how He shows you that He's in control. And that's how you know you are walking in unexpected victories, and the people who hurt you are powerless to stop it. Remember this. Your unexpected wins are not random. They are not coincidence. They are God's way of reminding you that He's faithful, that He's working, and that He sees everything. So celebrate them, walk in them, share them, and never forget, while they struggle, you're thriving, and that is a beautiful and unmistakable sign that God is dealing with those who hurt you. Now, let's talk about something truly beautiful, something that completes the whole process. Your heart heals. And oh, I can't stress this enough. When God is dealing with the people who hurt you, the ultimate sign isn't just that they face consequences or that you get wins. It's that your heart begins to heal. Because let's be honest, friends, the pain we carry from betrayal, lies, and hurt can weigh us down like a heavy chain. It can keep us stuck in anger, bitterness, and frustration. But God, in His perfect way, starts mending those wounds little by little, day by day. I remember one time, man, I had someone betray me so deeply that I thought my heart might never recover. I was hurt, angry, and confused. I replayed the situation over and over in my mind, asking, God, how could they do this? Why me? And at first, I carried that pain everywhere. It followed me to work. It followed me home. It even followed me to church. I couldn't shake it. But here's what happened. Slowly, ever so slowly, God began to replace that pain with peace, understanding, and clarity. He started showing me lessons I needed to learn, wisdom I hadn't noticed before, and blessings I couldn't have seen if I was still stuck in anger. That's when the healing started. Healing your heart doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It doesn't mean pretending the hurt didn't exist. No. Oh, it means letting go of the bitterness, the resentment, the need for revenge. It means trusting God to handle the justice, and in exchange, He restores your peace, your joy, and your hope. And let me tell you something. Once your heart starts healing, life looks completely different. You walk taller, you smile wider, and you realize you are no longer chained by the pain of others. You are free, completely free. Here's the magic of it. The people who hurt you, they can keep trying to hold power over you, but they can't. Not once God starts healing your heart. Because when your heart heals, your mind clears. Your focus sharpens. You start seeing the opportunities, the blessings, and the beauty in life that you couldn't see before. And the irony is sweet. While your heart is mending, The people who hurt you are often still stuck in their mess, still consumed by their own issues. You, on the other hand, you're thriving, peaceful and unstoppable. That's God's way of showing you that healing is not just for you. It's a sign that He's working on your behalf. I want to tell you a story from my life. I once had a partner who betrayed me in a business deal. Man, I was furious. I carried that hurt for months. I prayed, I cried, I questioned everything. But instead of holding on to the bitterness, I started trusting God more. I started focusing on my growth, my faith, and my purpose. And little by little, the anger started fading. The resentment started leaving. And eventually, I realized I wasn't even thinking about them anymore. My heart had healed. And as my heart healed, opportunities started coming. Relationships strengthened, and peace became my constant companion. That's how powerful it is when God heals your heart. And here's the beauty. A healed heart allows you to love again, to trust again, and to walk boldly in your purpose. You're no longer defined by the betrayal or hurt you endured. You're defined by your faith, your resilience, and your ability to rise above. And that, my friends, is a blessing that nobody can take from you. That's the ultimate victory. Sometimes people think they'll never get over the pain. They think, Steve, I'll never forgive. I'll never feel whole again. But I'm telling you, healing doesn't happen overnight, and forgiveness doesn't happen all at once. But it does happen. And when it does, your heart becomes a testimony that God is faithful, that He sees everything, and that He knows how to restore what was broken. And the people who hurt you, their power over your life is gone. Their influence is gone. Your heart is whole again. That's victory. That's freedom. That's God at work. So here's the lesson. Don't rush your healing. Don't be discouraged by the pain. Don't dwell on the hurt. Let God work. Let God work. Trust Him to mend the broken pieces, to replace bitterness with joy, to transform your pain into peace. And when your heart heals, you'll know, without a shadow of a doubt, that God has been dealing with those who hurt you. You'll feel lighter, freer, stronger, and more alive than you've ever been. And that, my friends, is the ultimate sign. Remember this, God doesn't just deal with those who hurt you on the outside. He works on the inside too. He heals your heart, restores your peace, and gives you a life full of joy, purpose, and freedom. And when that happens, nothing can stop you. Nothing. That's how you know you are truly blessed, truly free, and truly walking in God's favor.